Welcome back to JT channel, and this is the very first video that you guys will see on my brand new phone, so I can already tell it looks a lot clearer. Sorry if you see me like fixing my hair and stuff. Me and my daughter just woke up from a morning nap, I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm so excited to do this. This is the very first episode of JT's Wrestling Review. JTWR, where I'm going to review wrestling. Quick housekeeping in case you haven't heard from my channel update. I'm going to be doing Raw and SmackDown for the next few weeks, and then on April 22nd, I'm going to be reviewing AEW Dynasty, and then I'm going to be doing Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown with the potential to also do Collision. It kind of depends on how busy I get. I know those are the three most important popular shows: Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite. So those three for sure. But we're starting with SmackDown from last night, April 12th. Which of course opened with the brand new WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. He comes out, same old shtick. I don't mean to sound rude when I say same old shtick. It's just I wasn't able to watch SmackDown live. I had to do a bunch of YouTube stuff, but good promo as always from Cody. He's obviously the hottest babyface in the entire world right now. You can't argue. He talks about what do you want to talk about and all that, and then he says that. He talks about The Rock. I might have this out of order, but he talks about The Rock. He talks about that he handed in something that, was awkward and made everything weird. And then he points out that he believes The Rock, that The Rock's heading back to Hollywood, and that The Rock's going to come back for Cody. And Cody says, "Don't worry, I won't be hard to find. I'll be standing right here." So most likely we're going to get that match down the line. I'm not sure where. You wouldn't think they would do it at some random B show, even though most of the WWE shows aren't B shows no more. But maybe we'll get it at SummerSlam in Cleveland. Maybe not. I have no clue. Straighten up the camera a little bit. Then they announced that there's going to be 2 triple threat matches. The winners of those will face each other in one-on-one matches next Friday. And the winner of that will be the first challenger for Cody Rhodes' WWE title. So we're moving right on, which is awesome, I think. I know Roman Reigns posted stuff that he's in the gym or whatever, getting ready for his return. Roman's taking time off. Seth's taking time off. Becky's taking time off. The Rock's going to Hollywood, so good opening segment. Cody, like I said, big baby face, and I'm super happy for him. Finished his story, so now what's next? We'll talk about that later on. First triple threat match of the night was LA Knight taking on Bobby Lashley and Santos Escobar. It was a really fun triple threat. I've mentioned this a lot. WWE has gotten really good at multi-man matches lately, and this was another really fun one. Some highlights. There was a great Tower of Doom spot, obviously. I think Lashley powerbombed Ray, who suplexed LA Knight. Legado del Fantasma got involved. They beat up Bobby Lashley, which meant the Street Profits had to come out and save Bobby. And I just wrote here, Tez is insane. After the Legado took out Dawkins, Montez Ford did one of his dives, and he jumped so high and so far over that top rope. It was almost like the highlight of the match. I don't want to say it took away from the triple threat, but Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins is really good too. But I don't want the Street Profits to ever break up unless they do it like they did the New Day, where Big E was drafted to Raw instead of them splitting. So if Tez gets drafted to Raw or Dawkins gets drafted to Raw, both of them are going to shine as single stars. But back to the triple threat. Though at the end, Bobby Lashley goes for a spear. Santos gets out of the way. Bobby goes crashing into the turnbuckle. I almost stole a nickname for the turnbuckle from my other favorite YouTube wrestling reviewer. And then LA Knight hits the BFT. So LA Knight's the first to go on to next week's number 1 contender match. Nothing bad. I don't have any complaints. I love LA Knight. Yeah, I almost didn't do it. So yeah, there you have it. LA Knight's the first person in the match next week. We'll talk about the second match later. Real short here, Rey Mysterio said that the truth will be revealed about who attacked Dragon Lee. I'm assuming it's going to be Carlito. Carlito, was excited when Rey's oh, I'm going to have a match at WrestleMania. And then he knows Dragon Lee. Then Dragon Lee got beat up. Then he got Andrade. It's just, what about Carlito? That's not cool. Then we have his Bloodline segment. Paul Heyman comes out with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. He says that Roman Reigns isn't making any excuses. They're not blaming John Cena or The Undertaker or Seth Rollins. But he says, Reigns believes and Heyman believes that Reigns took his eye off the ball because he wanted revenge on Seth for so long. He finally took that opportunity to get that revenge, and it cost him everything, which is what we've all been saying. And yeah, the Tribal Chief says he takes full blame for what happened at WrestleMania. Solo Sikoa, on the other hand, says there needs to be consequences because of losing. You know, losing causes consequences, and there needs to be changes. And he gets in Heyman's face, and Heyman's worried, but then Solo turns his attention to Jimmy Uso, and eventually they just hug it out, and he says, I love you, you're my brother. He takes a few steps back, and Jimmy's attacked by a hooded figure who is revealed to be, as I wrote on here, fucking Tama Tonga, however you want to say his name. Japanese legend. We all know he's the son of Haku. The son of Haku. The craziest man in the history of wrestling, potentially. If you don't know who Tama Tonga is, you know who Haku is. They beat the hell out of Jimmy Uso. He gets hit with multiple Samoan spikes. Paul Heyman pulls out his Bloodline Roman Reigns phone. I wrote LOL because Solo takes it and destroys it, like stomps on it. Then they put Jimmy's head in a chair, put him in the corner, and gives him the hip attack. So they took Jimmy Uso out. It was a wild segment. I have a question I wrote here that I'll pose to you guys in a second. But it was shocking when I woke up this morning and I told you I had to go through YouTube because I couldn't catch it live. I saw that Tama Tonga was there and I watched it. I've watched it a bunch of times. I'm so happy he's around. He fits the bloodline perfectly. Him and Solo Sikoa look incredible together. Just seeing them side by side, they're both killers, and you can tell. And the question I want to pose, and I asked my wife this last night, is this the beginning of the Usos reunion tour? Like, Jimmy just got, like, murdered. Like, it was insane. So, are we going to head down the line? Well, maybe not super soon, but maybe over the next few months, maybe it's SummerSlam or something, we slowly build to Jimmy and Jay coming back together. Maybe Jay gets moved to SmackDown or Jimmy gets moved. I would rather Jay went back to SmackDown after the draft, or at the draft. If not, it's fine. Like, he's fine on Raw. He's going to challenge Damian Priest and all that. But I feel like this is going to be the very earliest sign that the Usos are going to get back together. We're probably going to get the Usos versus Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, another bloodline civil war. And that's going to rule. So, awesome all around, planting seeds, good segment, good shit. And then we had Cameron Grimes versus Braun Breaker, more, call-ups and stuff. And I just wrote, Braun Breaker kills Cameron Grimes, because that's what happened. It was a squash match. I love Cameron Grimes. I will say it sucks that he's not used more. Cameron Grimes is incredible, but Braun Breaker, it's Braun Breaker. He's one of the big futures of WWE. He's gonna lead the company one day. Then we have Bayley's promo. Just like Cody, I didn't write too much down. I had to catch it on YouTube, but she was very happy. She got massive "You Deserve It" chants, which she absolutely does. She kept that new look with her hair, which I think is cool. I think she looks great. She's interrupted by Tiffany Stratton, who was like offended she wasn't on WrestleMania, and then she assumed that Bayley was going to do an open challenge, and so she accepted it. And Bayley said no. She was about to name her new challenger, though, which was Naomi. Which makes sense. They've been friends this whole time, so it makes sense that she would give her friend a shot. And I'm actually not upset about it. It's Naomi. I know it's very much, please, sir, may I have a title shot? In this case, please, ma'am. And they just say, yes, here's some. Or yes, have some, I guess. Ghostbusters reference. But in the end, Naomi said she wants to earn her shot, so she's going to face Tiffany Stratton later on. Fun segment. Tiffany Stratton, we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. Before that, Paul Heyman comes out of the trainer's office checking on Jimmy Uso, and then Tama Tonga gets in his face and says that the assault was under Tribal Chief's orders, and as they walk off, Solo Sikoa smiles as if Tama Tonga was referring to Solo Sikoa as the Tribal Chief, and Paul Heyman was even like, what does that mean? What do you mean? So again, we're planting a ton of seeds here. Someday when Roman comes back, he's going to get a babyface reaction, and maybe he even comes back to challenge Solo for like the Tribal Chief moniker. Then we have Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. I don't really know what to tell you guys. Tiffany Stratton has belonged on the main roster for the longest time, but Naomi was always going to win this match. So she does. And we're going to get Naomi and Bayley next Friday on SmackDown for the women's title. I'm sure Bayley's going to retain, but I feel like something's going to happen. I don't know what, but something for sure. After this, it's Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair against Piper Green. That's if they were partner. If that's if they were fused into one person. I'm leaving that in. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. You all know who's going to win. I'm struggling here. Corey Graves kept referring to Belair and Cargill as a new team, so I guess they're going to be a team from now on, which I'm fine with. It gives Cargill the chance to continue learning the WWE system from someone who's in the biggest part of it. I'm going to watch the cat. Sorry about that. Who's been a big part of like the main event scene and the scene altogether for so long. Piper Niven is still fantastic in the ring. Having a larger person in there against the powerhouses was awesome. Obviously, Belair and Cargill won. But something I want to talk about is that there was a glitch during this match, apparently. But it wasn't like a camera screw-up. If you pause it and look at it, at the bottom of the screen, there's like words all connected that says, "You forgot about us." Now, last week before SmackDown went on the air, apparently this song they used to play right before Bray Wyatt came back as that new character started playing again. So I'm pretty sure that we are teasing the return of Uncle Howdy and maybe even some of the other Wyatt characters. I could not be more happy. If Uncle Howdy shows up or any of those characters show up, they're going to get an explosive, booming reaction. We're probably all going to cheer, scream, and cry. And I'm happy about that. I know I read last year after Bray's passing, after it kind of like settled down and everyone was, just, I wouldn't say moved on. We're never going to move on from Bray. But after a while went by, there were rumors that they were going to use a lot of his unused ideas because it was the right thing to do and it's what Bray would have wanted. So there was cool Uncle Howdy tease during the match, and Belair and Cargill won. Main event time, AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. If you think these three were going to have a bad match, you probably need to get your head checked. This ruled. I have a bunch of spots written down here because there were some really good ones. At one point, Rey Mysterio went through his springboard backflip into a tornado DDT to AJ Styles, but he flipped him onto Kevin Owens, so he did it to Owens. Then he did it to Styles anyway. Kevin Owens did a double German suplex to AJ, and then Rey was in the front. And then the finish, I kind of wrote down exactly how the finish went. Rey 619 Styles, and then Kevin Owens hits a stunner on the apron to Rey Mysterio, and then he goes for the swanton on AJ, but AJ gets his knees up. AJ goes to the top rope, or to the second rope, probably to do like his 450 or something. Rey goes to stop him and goes for a Frankensteiner. AJ catches him and does the Styles Clash to Rey Mysterio from the second rope onto Kevin Owens. And pins Rey Mysterio for the 1-2-3. So I wrote here, I guess we're doing that again. It's going to be AJ Styles versus LA Knight. And they had a fine match at WrestleMania. Like, it was really good. And, of course, they faced off as the show went off the air. So next Friday, AJ Styles versus LA Knight. First things first, obviously that triple threat match was awesome. I personally liked it more than the other one, but both were really, really good. It's not like, oh, the first one was garbage. No, the first one was awesome. This one was awesome. I love that it's 6 stars that are, they're viable contenders. That's what I think. I think if you really put it down, you got Bobby Lashley, Santos Escobar, and LA Knight. Sorry I stuttered. I'm still dealing with my daughter. All of them are contenders, and so are Mysterio, Owens, and Styles. You could have gone any way with this. I get you got 2 people that have recently had a WrestleMania match to get to have a WrestleMania rematch now. Maybe Styles gets his win back, and we get Styles and Rhodes. But I wouldn't do that because of how quickly Backlash is here. It's only a few weeks away. It's May 4th. So I would do LA Knight. I know it's hard to do babyface versus babyface, but this is a live event in France. I don't know, premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever. I don't remember the last time WWE did something like this in France, so you can get away with babyface versus babyface. But we'll see. Overall, it was a really good episode of SmackDown. I don't have any complaints. I guess, like I said, I guess my only complaint is, it's not a complaint anyway, or either. It's more of a question, like, did we have to do AJ versus LA? Maybe we did. But I'm not going to sit here and walk through all the potential matches. We'll just see what's next for Lashley Escobar, Owens, and Mysterio. That like they all have. I'm sure Mysterio's Carlito, but make sure you do something with them while LA Knight and AJ have their match next week. Overall, very good show. WWE's on fire right now. Let's just hope they keep it up. Look forward to next Tuesday. Like I said, Raw and SmackDown for a few weeks until Dynasty, and then it'll be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then potentially Sundays. So thank you everyone so much for checking out the very first official episode of JT's Wrestling Review. This is JT Channel. I am JT, and I'll see you next time.